Hello, hello. Good morning. I'm actually on kind of on time for once. My name is Win Koshika and my pronouns are they them. Today we are back in the world of Roadwarden, a dark, spooky, mysterious world, as it is. We are protecting the roads and trying to find out what happened to the last Roadwarden, and I don't remember exactly where we were when we left off, but we had been traveling, northwest-ish, and finding these different little villages and an inn and such. So we're gonna continue with that. Continue. We're at the 8 Ale Inn. Oh, this is in, Howler's Dell. A village of farmers and animal breeders set on the Western Road. They are controlled by druids. Okay, the mayor is Ty. I gotta remember some of this stuff. The Pelt's innkeeper doesn't like Ty. Make sure my phone's on. Go. Ty enjoys games and jokes. The innkeep doesn't like jokes and empty gestures. Okay. How much money do I have? 8 coins. 8 dragon bones. Okay. Let's go to the trader. When Akakios notices your arrival, he tells the other villagers to give you some time in private. Buying or selling? Let's see. What about useful herbs or ointments? You do have druids around here. When that happens, sparse supplies. He puts a finger to his lips, giving it a slight bite. The druids are better at casting healing magic than making bombs. Used to be different, but magic's stronger regardless. Before you can change the topic, he points northeast. Here, let me move my mic closer. There we go. Try by White Marshes. There's what's-his-face. There's what's-his-face. A warlock there. He used to take lessons at our village. From the old archdruid. If anyone around here knows his way around leaves, it's him. Okay. What can you tell me about Asterion? That even though he was here more than once, he did not leave much behind. Smelly hoarder. He looks around, then spits on the ground. At least he brought a blade from me. Do you remember what blade it was? Sure. It was a special one. A sickle sword, with a tip wider than 'twas at the grip. Long as from the fingertips to the shoulder. Not a sword, not a knife. Single-edged. Brought his own steel to melt for it. What's it good for? Fencing? More for cutting bushes, creepers, roots, and not fell a tree, but it's a fine tool. He nods to a passerby, but his smile disappears as quickly as it had shown up. Pathfinders use it. My pa used to have one as well. Oh, my pa used to have one as well. He chopped nuts with it. Nuts and mouflons. So he took it to the wilderness. He shrugs. Pretty much anywhere. There are hills from here to the coast, and bogs in the north, in the heart of the woods. Cannot help you with it. Oh, hi Lexi. Did a super long 4-hour stream last night. That's crazy. What were you playing? Or doing? Were you playing the new Call of Duty game that you got? New as in new to you. Okay. What do you have for sale? Don't have enough money for either of these. Lantern. What does my axe look like? Yeah. I meant like new to you, like the Coldware one, not new in general. Did you have a good time? I don't think I want to sell any of my stuff. Oh, my horse. Gomson. Okay. Got halfway through the campaign. I'd finish it, but I have to do GTA today. I see. Okay, what? I can't remember what I did. Even though the counter stands outdoors, it's not rotten or dirty, and you guessed that like the other furniture, it's brought inside every night. Eric's approaches you with a smile and leans on its surface with his fists. He's portly, and even taller than his neighbors. He's got freckles, short gray hair, and an elegant beard. His long, woolen orange tunic has a decorative cut right under the neck, and loose braids at the edges. How can I help you, traveler? His accent is heavy, nothing like his wife's. He stomps with a heavy boot and looks around, as if he's just waiting to get back to his other tasks. His fingers are still dirty from weeding the garden. Saturdays are my GTA stream days. Bathtub stream watching. Hell yeah. Saturdays are my voice acting or like narration heavy game days. I swap between this one and Little Witch in the Woods. Okay, rumors? Not really. I have my own things to worry about. Neighbors keep their own company. Better for everyone to seek help from a wife or the forest speakers, not in a mug of ale. Okay. Maybe you've heard about someone who may need my help? You say it as if we expect travelers to get here any day now. I'll ask around. Come tomorrow. Have you had any interesting guests recently? I did not know. He scratches his beard. There was one vagabond, but he was not here for long. Didn't do much. A timid fellow. Talks loudly, but is afraid of everything, especially the guards. His face is touched by flames, has a big ballista. He says this word with a strange accent, smirking. And a large bird is his beast of burden. I do not know what to say. He shrugs. He went south and is most likely gone. I wonder if that was the guy that we saved. You're doing pretty good. Thank you! You sweet. Okay, the priests and the tailor. I don't think my Gomison can be fixed any more than this. Lexi, thank you for the 25 bits. I like how you say nuh-uh as if that in itself doesn't prove that you're being sweet. You're silly. You follow the guard's directions and reach the whitewashed building, standing on the western bank, next to a small garden of flowers and herbs. It's well kept and clean, with a plain, beaten front yard, in parts covered with sand. Through the open windows, you catch a glance of the furniture, made of smooth, almost shiny wood, with hints of dark, cherry-like red, decorated with carvings of plants. A woman in her 40s is sitting on a wooden bench. The table is covered with fabrics, threads, and needles made of bone and iron. She's sewing with a long sleeve to what's going to become she's sewing a long sleeve to what's going to become a blue tunic. You're silly. Her movements are quick and confident. Her brown, wavy, shoulder-length hair is tied into a wreath-like braid. But other than that, her clothes are simple and inconspicuous. She doesn't have a left leg, but you don't notice any cane. You observe her for a few moments until, without sparing you so much as a glance, she encourages you to speak with a grunt. Thank you, Lexi, for watering your tree. I have peppermint tea. I'm gonna... It's hot, but it's so good. Let me get up and stretch. sea shrimp. Ow. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm looking for a tailor. It's this desk. It's always at such an awkward level where, like, I hit my knee against it, but if it's any taller, it's already, like, slightly too tall for me. Okay, her name's Bione. You found one. Her voice is low and she doesn't stop her work. Name's Bione. Did you answer a couple of questions? The boredom in her voice is palpable. I'm not a bard. Okay. I'm interested in a new set of clothes. She stops her work and looks at you briefly. Hi, I can tell. You don't even hear a hint of mockery. That's a lot of work, and I don't take my work lightly. If I were to give you anything, people would see it and I'll let you- wait. People would see it, and I'll not let you show them some rags. And by that you mean prices are high. You reach for a pouch and she answers with a nod. It'll take me a day or so to finish, and a fine fabric. Your city clothes are... She frowns. Just fine for the wilderness, I guess. What I'll give you is for the time with the lamb meat and mead, not pathfinding. The longer the outfit you want, the higher the price. But I'll consider the things people say about you as well. Okay, let's discuss it. Okay. I would probably want the fancy dress. It costs the most. So let's keep that in mind. Your desk is about to collapse? What's wrong with your desk? I'm moving my tea closer. I'm like, there we go. I don't have to keep reaching out for it. A young woman is chasing after a loose chicken, embarrassed by the giggling of bystanders. Two red-haired twins are weeding a flower garden. Oh, weak legs. Me too sometimes. Relatable desk. Okay. Priests. You head south of the dead tree in the main square. Before you get to the second thatched building, a large man stands up from a bench and gets into your way. He's close to 50, taller than most people you've seen in your life, broad-shouldered. His hair and short beard are brown, matching his elegant woolen robe. A thick club is attached to his right wrist with a leather strap. He left his sandals by the sitting spot. Many want to speak with our guides and teachers. He speaks with a solemn, strong voice. But you're not welcome here. Turn back, stranger. Can I know why? You can. He swings his polished, heavy weapon. You're from the outside and cannot be trusted. The boors and slaves of the United Church would crush us if they had a chance. Before we allow you to spy on us, we need to be sure it's worth it. I'm your new Roadwarden. Are you sure that no soul here needs my assistance? His harsh look softens. We can handle ourselves. If that changes, Elpis will summon you. I don't want any trouble. He shrugs. Travelers bring their problems onto others. Their will means nothing. I'm not a spy. I don't believe you. Okay. Bye, I guess. Druids don't want to see me. Can I go north? No. Oh, I could do it with travel. Okay, what do the guards need? Edge of the local fields was destroyed by some beasts. You stay in the saddle, helping the guards and workers oversee the area while they're placing a new fence. Sure. It'll make them like me more, probably, right? Turns out you don't have much to do. You get your job done quickly and with little difficulty. Okay. We have 6 hours before dusk. We could go north or west. Actually, I'm gonna see... Okay, we could get a room. Sure thing, he nods. My kids keep it cleaner than you'd find in the city. Just tell me when you're ready. Okay. So we have a room that we can get there. So we don't have to go all the way back here to stay. Let's go west. Why am I such a sneezy bitch? I'm always sneezing. It is that season where it's like... I feel like the cold makes me sneeze more sometimes. Okay, so we're kind of going into the wilderness more. The path gets greener and meanders between treacherous precipices. You ride slowly, passing by birds and ibexes, but in the distance you spot circling harpies, and below you, a roaming mountain cat pursuing a mouflon. You take a sip from your water skin. The air here is a bit dry. The cold makes your knee hurt times 100. I feel that too, like my joint pain is always worse in the cold. I feel like a hot bath is like the only thing that helps my joint pain when it's like cold outside. Let's hope the echo of hooves won't reach any larger beasts. You're so valid for that. I hope it helps. The path leads you down again, to a small moist valley, impenetrable for a rider. The thicket is made of thorny shrubs, tall grasses, and the weak fallen boughs that nourish mosses and mushrooms. You examine the remnants of the path, covered with greenish puddles. Without the roots and with a fresh layer of pebbles, it may still be restored. You look behind you. The road is clear, no ambushes so far. If you hope to clear this place, it'd be better to do so soon. It'll only get denser with the passage of days. Okay. Be done in 2 hours or so. Oh god, I'm filthy. Your muscles, not used to such tiring work, grow tired quickly, so you take a few short breaks, avoiding the thorns and dirty water. When it comes to pushing aside the boughs, you breathe heavily, but you need only enough space to let your palfrey get through. Maybe the animals will start to roam this place again, beating the path. You reach a convenient mountain pass, with crags smoothed out by centuries of rain and wind. The sun warms up both the vegetation and the beaten road, and the only beasts you spot are loud rooks, glancing at you from the rocks and branches. Oh yeah, don't drop your phone in the water. Clearing the rock slide would take hours of work and a large group of people, while forcing Sen to climb up and down could break its legs. Let's dismount and look around. You climb up the rocks, having plenty of spots to rest your hands. Most of them won't even move an inch. As you get closer to the small dead tree, you notice something odd among the stones. Pieces of old fabric, completely covered with mold. Most likely the remains of a tunic. Okay. I can't go any more there. You have 3 hours before dusk. Travel there. You spend a few minutes with Sen, but before you reach the square, someone clears his throat. You turn towards a man in his 50s, with large hands, an elegant beard, and no hair. The stable master. He both introduces himself and answers an unspoken question. You frown, then realize that you indeed saw him before, and your palfrey was nicely taken care of during your first visit to the village. Or rather, I'm the one when 'tis necessary, but I'd rather grind flour, he says with annoyance. You don't think your beast waters itself, brings itself fodder from a storehouse, and cleans its own shit, no? Takes time and hay. It does. He points at your companion. Is not- oh, if this, he points to your companion, is not gonna work for it, you better have a pouch at hand. You look behind you. The stables are not much more than an open shed, with piles of planks, 2 donkeys, and a bunch of napping chickens. Would a dragon bone be enough? He nods. For one day? Aye, that's fair. He looks around, rubbing his hands together. Sure, man. I just earned it, I'll give it away. He nods with gratitude, and throws the bone into a leaky bucket, hanging from a nail, then grabs a wooden pitchfork. Let him work in peace. Okay, let's go to the main square. I'm gonna sleep in the room. I'm losing so much money. I gotta find a way to make money. The ass shack. Waiting until I got fired from work because a package fell off the belt, smacking in the leg and broke it. Damn, they would fire you over that? Sounds of rain wake you up briefly. Before you return to sleep, you think about your plans. Riding in the mud is difficult. Sen will have a rough time, especially on the unpaved grounds. It may be a good day to take a break at an inn. Your first sleep ends, but your usual 1-hour break is instantly disrupted by noise. You stand up, walk to the window, and see the reason for the commotion. A group of workers is just outside the inn, drinking and laughing. Eric's, the innkeeper, is also among them. You could join them, but if you do so, you won't get a good sleep tonight, and after such a long day, you may end up exhausted. I look really gross right now. I'm not sure that they would want to hang out with me. But I'll try. You lose track of time, surrounded by the smells of old ale and cold roast lamb. The excuse for having this celebration is the recent birth, the very same that was occurring when you arrived at the village. The young mother is exhausted, and is the first one to leave. But more than 10 people stay, poking at her partner with kind-hearted jokes. Use the next week the best you can, says one of them. No sleep for you after that. You may be a stranger, but your presence is welcomed with joy. The small talk is just as engaging as you'd expect from people, who have already slept for 3 to 4 hours today. But there's something pleasant about them sharing their parenthood stories and plans for the future. The humming of Howler's Creek and the lights in the dark make you feel as if you belong here, and that's a delightful illusion, especially in a group of strangers. At one point, you're asked about your own journeys, though you prefer to keep most of them to yourself. One of the hunters encourages you strongly to travel to creeks. They're a fun bunch, you see. They love to meet new people, but be ready to wake up with a spinning head. I'm one of the first people to get back to bed. You spend the night in peace, in a clean bed with a tightly shut window and a warm blanket. In the morning, you find a stool placed by your bed, covered with a fresh pie with deer meat, onions, and coriander. Once you get dressed and go downstairs, a young boy, who's covered in mud, speaks unusually loud and enthusiastically. Mentions that Sen has already been brushed and watered. You nod, but he runs outside without noticing it. The innkeeper is sitting near the door, from time to time carrying out another bowl with either stew or gruel. Ty is nowhere to be seen. Yum, right? Like a deer meat pie with onion and coriander. Coriander is basically like cilantro. Kind of. It sounds yummy. Cannibalism. No. Common misconception. My mascot is a deer, but I'm Forest Puppy. I got the canine features as well. I'm like a weird mismatch of animals. Like, you can't see under the shirt, but there's wings. There's wings in here, too. I got the canine ears and tail, the deer antlers, and the wings. let's leave the square and offer our services to the guards. A hunting trip. You'll be a messenger between a few groups of hunters that will hide in various parts of the wetlands, close to the southern road. The task will take you about half a day and make it dangerous. Yes. Don't have much to do. Get your job done quickly with little difficulty. Okay. Let's... The muddy road slows you down. How much time do we have? Because it takes half a day. We got 12 hours. Yes, services. Not those kind of services. Not yet, anyways. The road is beaten and free of litter. You notice paths between the fruit-bearing trees on your right, and soon after that, you ride alongside the vast fields of broad beans, almost ready for the second harvest of the summer. Then there are the green hemp plants, taller than you are, waiting for a scythe or sickle. The fuck you mean yet? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll grow on them, and they'll want those services. Roadwarden and also I'm trying to come up with a joke that matches with Roadwarden, but I'm not smart enough for that right now. The locals keep the beasts at a distance, I guess. Sen's hooves thump loudly on the beaten track. Dumb puppy. Thank you for the bit. The green bushes, shrubs, and trees prove that the soil here is fertile, yet the plants don't overgrow the road. These crossroads must be busy at times, maybe even patrolled. In the distant west, you can see mountain peaks dividing the lowlands from the ocean. The road east leads towards the hills, behind which there are unusually tall, dark trees. There's a dense forest in the north, from which you hear the croaking of toads. The last path is already known to you. You're surrounded by 4 signposts, all of which seem to be made from the same type of wood, now covered in moss and fungi, yet the pictures and letters that cover the nailed boards are nothing alike. Okay, so... west is mountains with ocean on the other side. East is hills. North is forest. Let's check west. The western signpost has 2 planks attached to a single post, both of them nailed with rusty steel. There's a black ring around my tub now. Ooh. At least you're getting clean. This is your your cleanliness. Yours is at like 2. Gotta get those stars up. The lower sign is divided in 2 halves. The left edge is engraved with 4 simple shapes, squares with roof-like lines hanging above them. The other edge bears 2 engraved piles, one of them made of horizontal rectangles, the other of inexact circles. You don't recognize the letters between those 2 piles. The upper plank is covered with 2 short words drawn in white paint, right below them an engraved vertical rectangle with an hourglass inside it. Okay. Eastern. Long plank attached with rusty iron nails is almost empty. It bears no words, only a single picture painted with great care. It portrays a city-like gate with a watchtower to its left and right and a couple small conifers growing beside, partially behind the towers. A northern. It's attached with nails made of pointy carved bones and divided in 3 sections covered with small engravings. The part on the left has 3 large squares with roof-like lines. No other pictures. The one in the middle has 1 square, but also a simple horizontal symbol of a fish and short words beneath it, which you don't recognize. The image on the right has 2 roofed squares, but also 2 other images, which you recognize easily. A deer and a standing barrel. Southern signpost is covered with green, blue, and white paint that portrays simple squares with roof-like lines hanging above them. Each square has a large letter inside it, though you don't recognize them. Nevertheless, the pictures are not too old. There are no other words or marks. The plank was attached with a set of wooden wedges. Okay, let's search the area. The thicket doesn't help. You notice the remains of berries and pears, but most of them are already rotting, spread close to the wooden stools at the side of the road. The nearby creek is not impressively deep, but the beaver dam, for some reason taller than you are, makes it wide, and waters the surrounding soil. A few steps away from the southern signpost, you find something sticking out of a shrub. A moist plank, covered by fungi. You try to move it with a stick and a gloved hand. After a minute or so, you confirm it's an abandoned sign, covered with green letters and colorful pictures of flowers and trees. Try to find out where the old sign used to be attached. The southern post is the only one with holes left by nails. Take another look at the destroyed sign. Okay. Search the area some more. There's nothing more to be found. Okay, what time is it? We got almost 11 hours. We could try filling in this. Maybe there's a way past this rock slide. You cross a clean, shallow, yet wide creek that runs south, then follow the uphill path squeezed between the hills and the lush forest. You spend a good couple of minutes passing a haunting meadow, filled with dozens, maybe 100, cut-down trees, now overgrown by bushes and grass. You can't think of another time when you've seen a clearing of such size. Oh. Okay, I'm hearing bears. Seems dangerous. If this goes on, the animals will join forces to strike down whoever's responsible for this. Once the clearing ends and turns into a corridor of trees, the bear growling is, disconcerting. You stop your horse. There's a monster in the middle of the road, reaching out with its long arms to grab and devour fruits and leaves from tree crowns, chewing them without haste. Don't get mauled. I'll do my best. It's standing on its hind legs and leaning on a thick tail. As there isn't much hair on its gray skin, you see its impressive muscles. The beast is 3 times the size of a human. This is worse than a bear. While each move it makes is slow, its long claws and ease with which it breaks one of the branches makes you think that a single swing would be enough for it to pierce through your jacket. Or just as likely, that it would simply break your bones and send you into the air. Like most people, you know quite a bit about pebblers. It's called a pebbler. Once they get used to an unfenced farm or a forest garden, getting rid of them can be a huge issue. Roaring. Oh no. There aren't many blades able to cut through their thick skin and bones, and a single mistake may put them into a furious charge, encouraging them to look for human dwellings, which they can tear down in revenge. The beast doesn't give you as much as a glance, but also doesn't move away. The best you can hope for is that it's going to walk away on its own. Maybe tomorrow, maybe later. Okay, I return to the crossroads. Okay, so west, not an option right now. What did it say was east? Can't remember. Let's go north. Because north should be the way to the coast. Some parts of the road lead uphill, some downhill. The forests are lush, but not too dark. A few foraging deer and boars keep their distance, and the birds are disinterested in your presence, singing cheerfully and preening their feathers. Sounds of an ongoing hunt reach you from the east, but none of the nearby creatures seem bothered. Once you get farther north, the colorful meadow reveals tall hills on the other side of the stream, but the road leads through a valley. There's a gentle plume of smoke coming from one of the mountains in the west. Okay, so west, there might be a settlement. East is a hunt. North is the valley. Maybe there's a settlement in the mountains. The road leads to a gentle creek, filled with the buzzing of flies, mosquitoes, and gnats. You don't spot any critters among the tall meadows, tree branches, or rocky slopes. Seeing the shapeless dark vortex of wings, Sen snorts. You're currently on the southern bank. 2-month sub anniversary. Whoa. Happy 2 months. Next month you'll get the if you assuming that you still want to be subbed, next month you'll get the upgraded the dark green sub badge. I have 5 sub badges currently that I've finished. So I have the 1 month, a 3 month, 6 month, 9 month, and a year. Okay. Look for a different route. The path is barely squeezed between the hills with no signs of settlement or game trails. The grass is too tall and dense to allow you to safely ride through the wilderness. You won't reach the other bank without entering the swarm. Okay. Oh, tier 3 for a month or 2. That's crazy. Do whatever feels best to you, but don't feel obligated at all. Okay, blazing torch. You move away from the creek, get on your feet, and unpack the tinderbox, the wooden stove, and the set of rags, as well as the oil. After you assemble a torch, you sit down on the ground, preparing the flint and the linen char cloth. Decades ago, before the southern invasion, people used fire strikers made of thick steel, but all you have is a cube-like piece of harsh pyrite. It's not ideal, but it's good enough for a couple of sparks. I'm no crazy, you're crazy. Hashtag gaslighting. Holy shit. Thank you for the bit. You're silly. Holding the fire, you get back in the saddle. You swing your weapon left and right. There isn't as much smoke as you expected. Let's put it to the test. Once you get closer to the ford, countless creatures beset you, filling your eyes, mouth, and nose, hitting you like a squishy, buzzing hail. Ew. You ride forward blindly, instantly forgetting about your preparations, trying to get out of here as fast as you can. The insects are sticking with you for much longer than the smoke. It takes a few minutes for you to escape. The red marks on your skin start to burn. You get down to put out the torch by rubbing it against the beaten track. Sen swishes its tail angrily as it gives you a reproachful look, bending its ears back to its head. Unless you find an easier way to protect yourself, the insects will keep slowing you down. Well, that didn't help much. I'm sorry, Sen. I thought that the smoke would get rid of them. Can we get through it? Just get through? Okay. For most of the time, you're surrounded by yellow meadows. The trees on your left get sparser, while the few lonely birches on your right still bear the signs of tapping, marked with knife cuts tied with cords. Why am I hearing roaring? Some of them still carry wooden vessels, as if they were simply abandoned. Maybe last spring, maybe before that. A few of the trees are already dried out, and the winds manage to knock them down. As you get closer to the crossroads, the ground gets muddy. The beaten paths avoid the wetlands as much as it can. Screeches and hisses mix with the buzzing of insects, and as you reach a small pond, there are signs of blood on its bank. The air is moist and heavy and has a hint of rotting meat to it. It may still be early, but it's better to avoid the bogs when nighttime approaches. Such places rarely have fine roads. Okay, bogs are darker than forests. The local creatures start their hunt up to an hour earlier. Good to know. Okay. Old Forest Garden. The trees and bushes are sparse here, growing from the barren grassland. Some of them bear late summer fruits. Oh god, the bug noises are so obnoxious. A group of wayfarers is spread around the broken signpost and the abandoned cart. They're skinny, but healthy, and are standing upright. They're wearing humble, dim gambesons on top of their hemp tunics and pants, all of them worn, in some cases undyed, while others are dark green or brown. 4 of these individuals wear cloaks, and are armed with spears, bows, and stone maces. On their necks, wrists, and belts, you spot small talismans. Fangs, bones, wooden beads, leather straps. There's also the 5th figure, standing a bit in the back, with lowered shoulders. Unlike the others, they're hooded, and in such a manner that you doubt they can see anything other than their boots. Their clothes are shabby, torn, but your eyes mostly run to their club, a bow as long as its owner is tall, and as thick as a leg, resting with one end on the ground. You get closer, and the person raises the weapon with just one arm, but another traveler gestures for them to stop, and they do so right away, freezing in place. I stay in the saddle just in case. The man behind the gesture doesn't approach you, just nods. Safe travels, stranger. May be some time before the evenfall, but bogs aren't safe. Better keep moving. You'll find an inn. You try to digest his thick accent. He's broad-shouldered, with a large belly, but the scars on his face sculpt an image of someone who's earned their share of food with many skirmishes. He doesn't reach for his weapon, and pushes one of his companions closer to the cart. She kneels by an empty box and looks inside it. The man observes you with a little curiosity. Let's just be friendly. I nod at the cart. Need any help? He makes an annoyed grimace. Not really. This timber's sickening, moldy and wet. We're checking on the place, but seems a bad year for it. He looks at his companions, who simply shrug and spread to take a look at the cart. All but the one with the bow, who doesn't move an inch. Can I say I have time to loaf? If you questions asked, but be quick. Don't put us to sleep. Are you from around here? Very much so. You're new to these roads? You know our home? Maybe? Oh, no, I don't. I don't know. No clue. White Marshes! Did I have a note? I have a note on White Marshes. It's just a village among the bogs. That's all I know. White Marshes. There. I should have known that, because marsh, bog. It's been like a month since I played this game. He looks at the crossroads leading east. An old place. Plenty of stories there, but they rarely reach the ears of strangers, especially these days. Can I reach White Marshes? Not so hard. You have bones or food with you. Ride down the road, turn left, and take a gift to Tirsus, the warden of our peat fields. He'll open the creepers for you. Seeing your look, he carries on. You're on the right path, one that'll take you to the village. Anything dangerous between here and there? Water hides saurians. Don't let your horse drink. Just stay on the road all the time. One of the women chips in. Don't follow voices or lights. Weird beasts lure humans into death. And don't touch the creepers. Okay. Tell me about your village. It's home. He starts to play with his spear. As much a home as the bogs can be. Beasts are smaller than in the woods, but water is the real threat. Is it rough living in the wetlands? Not as rough as living with robbers on one side and that fake smiling rat that leads howlers on the other. Oh, Ty. He doesn't like Ty. He says to the delight of his group. You look at him, but he says nothing more. He then stretches out and gets closer to the signpost, using his spear as a walking stick. Well, stay safe, stranger. He raises his voice and addresses his companions. We wasted too much time on this froth. Time to get back. The others prepare their own weapons and join their guide. The one with the bow stays silent until a gentle gesture commands them to follow. They keep up with the rest of the group, dragging the club behind themselves with a remarkable strength. Okay. What time is it? We got 8 hours. Takes 3 hours to get there. We could maybe find a different village. So, if I'm trying to find white marshes, should I be going, what, east or southeast? Let's try just east. Oh, settlement. Okay. You leave the wetlands behind. The pebbled road runs through the hillside, with tall grasses and rocks facing above you, and dark, lush forests below. Chunks of this path were shaped by human tools. Who knows how many centuries ago? To widen it, the builders dug through the uneven boulders and used rocks and logs to fill up the cavities with thousands of rocks, each one smaller than your fist. While you have a good view of what's happening between the trees, on your right, the bushes and shrubs grow so densely between them, you can't imagine entering these woods on your own. Further south, there are plumes of smoke. Settlement, most likely. At the top of the hill, you reach a stone wall, a quiet place with no smoke coming from behind it. You look inside and see the glimpse of a peaceful ruin. While the main road is beaten and easy for hooves to trod, the destroyed gate and the remains of the front yard have almost been reclaimed by the short grasses. You seek any suspicious movement, but the place seems to be free of inhabitants larger than a falcon. The air is fresh and the wind shakes the tree crowns gently. I enter the yard. Okay. The hamlet could be a hunter's shelter, a military outpost, or a storehouse for traders, but you spot no fresh human trails. The damaged door and gate are years old, soggy and moldy, and judging by the squirrels, birds, and the animal feces you see in the grass, this place is but a part of the wilderness. The roof collapsed only a few years back, turning into food for mushrooms. The outer wall looks generations old, but it used to be maintained. Some of its materials came from different times and areas. Okay, enter the building? It's a simple chamber with no furniture that would explain its purpose. The fireplace is buried beneath the roof. You inspect the walls, made of hundreds of small rocks dressed with a chisel. We've got an ad starting soon. I'm not gonna continue reading until we're back from Adland. I am going to really quick go make some more tea because my throat is hurting a little bit. So I will just put us on Be Right Back for a couple minutes and go make some tea. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Taro is here. Snuck into the room. I don't know if you can hear him purring. He does this thing where every time I open any door, he just bursts in before you can stop him. Unless you were paying, like, super close attention to, like, blocking him with your legs. And since I had a teacup in my hands, I couldn't do that. I was trying not to spill my tea. So he made it in. Now he's purring so loud, though, because I'm holding him. He just wants to be babied. Okay, I'm gonna put him out. I would love to keep you in here, buddy, but you break things. And now he is going to be so sad and cry outside the door. He hates days where I stream because I'm in here for like several hours without him. But we're back. I have tea. I made more peppermint tea, but a different brand. I'm gonna compare and see which one I like better. And then I add like the marshmallow root to it as well to help with my throat. Okay. The house. The walls are made of hundreds of small rocks dressed with a chisel. The trash is heavy from the moisture. You push it with your boot. What starts as a commotion among gray, disoriented bugs. Removing the rubble would take some effort, but for now, it doesn't look like there's anything of value left behind. With enough wood, a group of builders could restore this hamlet in just a few days. You hear a rustle coming from the backyard. You look through the crumbling wall and notice the movement of reddish fur, not a tall creature. Prepare my axe. Its touch calms you down. The sounds of animal steps are careful and light. Go behind the building. Is it just like a fox? The chaos... Oh, the dusk fox. Yep. The chaos sparks right after you approach the tree stump. The dusk fox's growl sounds like a mix of an obnoxious bird and an infant. One of the animals, standing only a few feet away from you, is jumping and showcasing its tiny sharp teeth and a raccoon-like black mask on its little head. The animal with its thick brownish-gray fur seems more stout than any red fox. The second loud creature jumps onto a table made of a halved trunk. Unlike the first one, it has a brighter golden fur. It bends one of its forelegs, observing you with its dark eyes. Not furious, nor scared, rather sad and protective. Its growl turns into a miserable whine. The beasts are not even waist-high, but their number may be an issue. There's yet another sound coming from behind you, and even more from the bushes nearby. I don't want to hurt them. Step away and try to count them. Well, you take a quick glance and evade the creature in front of you as it tries to bite your leg, but you then feel the bite on your calf. The third fox was standing right behind you. While it's loud, it's also lumbering about, not trying to hold you in place. The noises from the bushes belong to little pups, most likely harmless. Though they're doing their best to imitate their guardians, you take a step back. I'm gonna run away. I don't want to hurt them. You pass the weaker fox and run towards your belongings, encouraging the beasts to chase you all the way to the gate as they growl with determination. For now, they stay in the shelter, filled with pride. The place was already abandoned, so I'll let the dusk foxes stay. They aren't threatening anyone. I don't want to hurt them. That would make me sad. They're just protecting their babies. Get in the saddle and ride away. The dusk foxes observe you as you climb up the saddle. They're growling and walking in circles. One of the pups knocks down their sibling, starting a playful fight. There's no reason to bother them. I'm sticking with that. I don't want to hurt them. Okay, it'll take 4 hours to get back to Howler's Dell. Let's go this way. Is this the way to White Marshes? You're not used to the scents of the bog, but you weren't expecting them to be so gentle. The humid air makes you think of smoked meat, and even though you ride by a few rotting carcasses and animal droppings, just as often you cross tiny meadows of pink, yellow, and red flowers. The noises tell stories of never-ending wars between the swarms of insects, frogs in their hideouts, snakes lurking among the purple grasses, birds patrolling both the water and the sky, and the saurians preparing to strike from beneath the surface. You can't separate the sounds of the living from those of the dying, if they're even different at all. You reach a boulder in the middle of the road, on the edge of a large pond. The road splits from here in two directions, but the only smoke you see is to the southeast. Okay. Well, there's south and there's east. Where's the... I don't... What time? 6 hours. I guess I'll go east. Well, this music is... The road takes you to the edge of the woods. A few trees have found lucky scraps of soil towering above the water, while others, short and not as lush, have roots sunk in the pond. Some of the plants were felled with tools, so the route itself isn't so dark, while the few sunbeams getting through the weaker branches on your left are surrounded by darkness and swarms of insects. Help me! Help! The sudden cry, as well as screams of pain, reaches you from between the trees. A woman or a child. Okay. I think about my goal. Wait here, son. Someone needs me. Dismount and grab my axe. You lean toward the pond. It's cleaner than in the other parts of the bog, allowing you to see the bottom. Parts of it are still more than knee-deep, and the sulfuric odor makes you step away with a frown. The brownish color can't hide all the bones and plants remains that are sticking out of the bed. I'm gonna say we're just gonna go in. I'm filthy. You get slower with every step, as your pants and boots are soaked in water and mud. The cold water makes you shiver, and the sulfuric odor makes you glance at the animal bones sticking out of the pond bed. The voice doesn't stop. You gather your bravery and move forward, disturbing the sediment so much that it forms a cloud of mud after every step. You run into the trees. Follow the voice? It leads you deeper into the trees, but your clothes turn every step into a struggle. Oh, I probably should have disrobed to not be weighed down. I just didn't think there was enough time if somebody's in danger. You think it's coming from one of the larger plants, with a crown so dense you can barely see anything between the branches. Something lands on your back and you plunge into the water, getting pinned down to the mud by massive paws. You're choking, hearing only splashes. Is this a saurian? I need to get out of the water. You try to roll away, and while the creature is heavy, with large paws and strong legs, you're strong enough to knock it off yourself. You bounce from the ground and dash through the shallow water, smoothly getting back on your feet, still holding your blade. Gasp for air and look at the beast. The cat's legs are bent, ready to jump, wide and muscular. Its eyes, staring at you without a blink, are round and yellow, with pitch-black irises in the center. It's waist-high, with its chin hanging just above the water, and a jaw that could bite off your limb in a heartbeat. It has short hair and whiskers, and a nose as big as your hand. Even without the dirt, it's almost pitch black, with glimpses of yellow that form a rose-like pattern on its sides, and dots on its head. You can't see the creature's paws through the now clouded water. The cat lets out a growl, like a saw cutting a log. It's unscathed, confident. Let's take a defensive stance. When you hear the flapping of wings, it's already too late. Bird talons sink into your shoulder, and once you get distracted, the cat darts forward, reaching for your thighs. You evade its first strike, but then it pushes your stomach with its huge paw, cutting through the armor. Before you can reach it with your blade, it's already out of your range. Your fine Gondison keeps you in one piece. The gray bird also flies away, now circling around you, gracefully avoiding the tree trunks and branches. It has a red tail and a short, curved, vulture-like beak. It growls, just like the cat did a moment ago, and you notice that the human screams have disappeared. Was it the bird? It's 2 against 1. The cat looks into your eyes, then roars. As it moves forward, you don't see any wounds on its shell. Its companion circles around you, looking for an opportunity to attack from above. Oh, I don't know. Should I run away or should I... I don't know that I can engage these. Try to stay safe, looking for an opportunity to make a precise strike. The bird distracts you by pecking at your hair, jacket, and hands. You do your best to evade the cat's attacks, then to strike it as it charges at you. But your attempt fails miserably. It manages to reach your stomach with its claws, slashing through your jacket. Your gambeson keeps you in one piece. Push it away with my axe and then prepare. I'm just gonna run away. Fleeing is not an option. Well, shit. Right after your foot hits one of the roots hidden beneath the floating sludge, you realize that crossing the water is going to take some time. A luxury that you don't have. The bird and the cat try to get you again, tearing the armor on your arms and cutting your back. Fleeing is not an option. Okay, attack the bird. Well, I'm dead. Can I load? Shit, I just lost all of that progress. Wait. Oh, there's no auto-saving. I thought there was auto-saving, I forgot. Okay, well, that sucks. I'm just gonna click through this as much as possible. Okay. Do the square. Offer our services. Escorting the foragers. Do it. Don't have much to do. Okay. Let's get to the crossroads. My bad. I gotta remember I gotta save more often. Look at all the signposts. Okay. Back to the crossroads. Go north. Yep. North some more. Okay, the people Stay in the saddle. Okay. This time I did distance. He gives you a slightly deeper nod this time, then looks at his companions, who simply shrug and spread to take a look at the cart. All but the one with the bow, who doesn't move an inch. Okay, got questions from around here. This time I'm gonna get it right. Wait, marches. He straightens up. True, he's there. He looks at the crossroad leading east. Thought 'twas already forgotten, but you've a clean ear. How can I read White Marshes? Ride down the road, turn left, and take a gift to Tircis. Okay. What are you using peat for? What else? Fuel? Bricks? We used to sell it. Some plants need it in the soil. Okay. Tell me about your village. Will I find Asterion there? His eyes lose a part of their shine. So he's not around, and you're looking for him? Because of the scars, his grimace is hard to read. No, he isn't at our home. Talk about it with Tircis on the peat fields if you must. Okay. What's up with this one? He smiles, but you notice that the others keenly observe you. Nothing is up. They're keeping us safe. An impressive club. One of the men, now turning over a moldy plank with his boot, giggles. It's one way to put it. And Numa's strong. Okay. Is this your cart? In a way. My neighbors. You then hear one of the women proudly claiming that it belongs to her uncle, but the man doesn't allow you to dig out into the topic. We used to carry wooden plants from here to the village, but eventually there was not a thing to carry, and it was left for another day. It's trash now. What makes this place so special? He sighs. It used to be a forest garden. My great-grandparents started it to harvest various fruits and sap from birches. But those were the other days, and the other roads. There's nothing of value left, and no time or strong folks to take care of the land. He then stretches out and gets closer to the signpost, using his spear as a walking stick. Well, stay safe, stranger. He raises his voice and addresses his companions. We wasted too much time on this froth. Time to get back. The others prepare their own weapons and join their guide. The one with the bow stays silent until a gentle gesture commands them to follow. They keep up with the rest of the group, dragging the club behind themselves with remarkable strength. Okay. We know what's here. It's the foxes. Let's just... enter the building. Go behind. Try to count. I know it'll hurt me once. Run away. Let the foxes stay. Okay. Hello! Hello, little dear. Nice to see you. How are you? Watching you. Hi. How much time do we have? 7 hours. We're not gonna go down this way, because that got us killed. I'm not gonna go that way yet. You're squeezed between the hills and the forests. The only larger beast you've spotted is a single saurian basking on a boulder, lazily observing you from a safe distance. Your ears catch the howls coming from the north, long and loud. And as you keep an eye on the rock ledges, you almost miss the drastic shift in the landscape. The forest turns into a lake, and the few plants growing next to the road mostly bear fruit. The road is not as reliable here as it was in the hills. Parts of it are a bit muddy, and the puddles disturb your ride. Good? That's good, I'm glad. What have you been up to? Anything exciting? Just got a ton of cozy sleep. Ooh. I'm jealous. My sleep has been a bit rough the last couple of nights. I kind of want to take a nap after this. I might go for just like another 20 minutes and then take a nap because I have a D&D one-shot today. It's going to be like 5 hours. Okay, maybe the locals will maintain it before it gets swallowed by the lake. The deep, loud yells of howlers are piercing your ears, concealing any other sound in the area. They're sitting on branches and in the tall grass, not really trying to hide. Their thick black and gold furs cover their entire shells, aside from the charcoal black faces with roundish flat noses and wide nostrils. The younger members of the pack are about the size of your mount's head, but the larger ones would be chest high if it wasn't for the fact that they walk on all fours. Their long tails are like an additional arm, helping them climb, hang from branches, or hold food while they eat. They aren't particularly muscular, but when they form their pink lips into the shape of a cup to release their howls, their mouths are so wide they could fit your entire arm inside. As you listen to the shouts, you reach for your head. You feel a weird itch, but somehow you can't scratch it. I know how to help people sleep well, but it can be a bit loud. What? What is that? Is it redacted or is the only thing I can think of is something that we would put in the yep. Yep. Okay. Keeping my distance, I take a look at the hide behind the boulder. The whitish rawhide covers the grass like a blanket, surrounded by paw prints. The howlers don't wait for you to approach it. One of the larger ones jumps on the ground, leaning on its hands, and challenges you with its gaze. It has rather blunt teeth. Grab the rawhide quickly and flee. You stretch out your legs, then dash ahead. At first, the monkeys move away with a few unconvinced yells, but then those from above start to howl, even deeper than before, and you feel as if your guts are starting to move, hitting against each other. You get dizzy, and soon the pain enters your skull as if you're getting hit with a smith's hammer, time and time again, yet you manage to stay calm, focused on your goal. The larger creatures try to cut your path, but, being on the ground, they can't keep up with your legs. Without stopping, you grab the rawhide, then carry on, waiting for a few heartbeats before you change direction rapidly, now getting closer to Sen. By the time you reach the saddle, the beasts have already abandoned their pursuit. You take a few deep breaths, then inspect the rawhide. The wet, torn blanket is now worth as much as a bread crust. Still, it's not rotten. If the owner is around, they may recognize it. Okay. What time is it? We got 6.5 hours. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you. Thank you for lurking. We're gonna go back to Howler's Dell. Because we've got like an hour before dusk now. Okay, go to the main square. Let's sleep. Rent a room. It's a calm, warm night. As your first sleep ends, you stretch out and prepare yourself for an active hour or two. It's time to take care of some things that must be done at least once every few days, though they're a bit more challenging than your nightly routine. I gather my amulets and focus on my breath, practicing how the pneuma flows through my shell. You spend the night in peace, in a clean bed with a tightly shut window and warm blanket. In the morning, you find a stool placed by your bed covered with a raw cabbage head, a smoked quail wing, and a cup of yogurt. Once you get dressed and go downstairs, a young boy who's covered in mud and speaks unusually loud and enthusiastically mentions that Sen has already been brushed and watered. Okay. Leave the square. Let's offer services to the guards. Hunting trip. Don't have much to do. I got the money. Okay. Let's try going west again, see if the peddler's gone. The path is clear, in a way. The peddler is nowhere in sight, but the road is covered with leaves and broken branches. The only fruit-bearing trees are growing right on the sides of the road, surely planted there by humans. There are many more fruits and leaves the monster may chew on, so it may return any day now. Okay. If it craves what this place has to offer so much, I should just get rid of its food. It may take me an hour or two, but at least I'll gather some fruits for myself. Okay, pick 2 bunches of wild plants. You prepare all your tools, especially your thick protective gloves, and tether Sen to one of the younger trees. It's not an easy task. You spend more than an hour cutting down twigs, shaking off the fruits of the thinner branches, picking them by hand, or hitting them with a stick. The rope helps you stay secure, and the first few minutes of climbing is closer to fun than work. The longer it takes, the more tired you become. Finally take a break to eat a couple of plums and apples, but the best ones you save for later, covering them with a blanket and putting it on the very top of your bundles. You're standing on a carpet of greens, browns, reds, and purples. You drag some of the thicker branches to the side to make riding forward easier, but the earthworms and boars are going to have a feast. Let's hope the peddler is picky enough to ignore all the mess on the ground. Okay, the corridor of pruned trees leads you to a steep ascent. Behind them grows a peaceful meadow, filled with flowers and crickets, and the humming of a waterfall. On the beaten path, you spot no footprints or wheel trails, but there's smoke on the horizon. Okay, this mountain leads out on a rope. We're gonna quick save. The pastures and fields are spread over an unnatural plateau. Humans must have been carving in the hill for generations, covering it with soil brought here in buckets and wagons. Among the weeds and tall grasses, you spot rotting tools and a tunic. Pasture is overgrowing, and so are the fields. Some of the oats are ready for harvest. I'm gonna stay calm. The locked gate is taller than a troll, and you can't imagine climbing up the massive wall. For a moment, you follow the path to the edge of the cliff. The roaring ocean is more than 100 feet below you. You spot no one looking at you from the watchtower, no patrols of archers. The wall is occupied by black and blue birds of various types. You return to the gate and focus on the sounds. There are a few screaming ibexes. A young boy is crying. Knock on the gate with my fist. The thudding scares away the birds. They call loudly, starting the cacophony of throats and flapping wings. After maybe a minute, you hear a bronze plate scratching against the wood as someone reveals the peephole. The strict female voice stops you from moving closer. Traveler! Old Pagos is secluded, for it has been smitten by a deadly plague. Be gone before you get sick. Okay, I think we have notes on Old Pagos. Journal, groups of places. Western village settled on barren soil. The locals exchange their stone for supplies. It's connected strongly with the nearby Order of Truth. I heard that the nearby grounds are mostly peaceful. According to the scavenger, the locals are cold. They spend days praying and talking on and on about their duty and are gray like ash worm. Okay, let's be distance. Introduce myself. We can't welcome you with bread nor meat. You look into the young brown eyes that match the skin of the black-haired owner. While the woman looks like a southerner, she has a strong local accent. She follows you cautiously, without blinking, like a fighter awaiting a strike. We parted with a dozen souls already. The monks in the north are masters of spells and potions, guided by the right themselves, yet even they can't help us. You hear more footsteps gathering near the entrance, and a weak voice of an elder chips in. May them be blessed, where they look after our ill. The woman continues. You won't find shelter here. We ought not to drown other tribes with us, such is our duty. A pause. Even if they would not show us such kindness. I have a few questions. Ask, but there's not much we can do for you. We see no one. We travel nowhere. We were born on this hill and will die here. After a few breaths, her eyes get kinder. I'm Tertia. If you bring any news, I'll take them to our council. Okay, I'm looking for Asterion, the previous Roadwarden. You can't tell anything from her eyes. Isn't he dead? I want to know for sure. If he's not, what else? Souls perish on the roads every day. We don't wait for him anymore. The best you can hope for is that he rode south. What is it that you were waiting for? That's not much of a secret. She looks to her right, then at you again. Head far east, to the crossroads. You'll find a watchtower and an old building made of our stone. You notice the pride in her voice. Hardly used since the war. Your friend wanted to turn it into a shelter. Hire guards, patrol the roads. He took our key and rode away. He was meant to meet with us again. Trade for materials and tools. Never happened. Okay. Any idea who else could have such a key? Before it was completed, the builders were spending their raining days on the coastal village in the far north. Gale Rocks, it's called. Ask there. Okay. Tell me more about this illness. What does it do? He glances at someone or something that stands to her right. It lasts a long time. Even those who seem to avoid death remain weak for days. There are fevers, headaches, red faces, red eyes, and rash. Those whom we've had to burn were sleeping and raving, unable to understand us, and got too weak to move or even drink. He looks down. Children and elderly suffer the most. You're so cute. I like your little emotes. Cozy. Okay, why don't you harvest your crops? Even though her cold gaze doesn't break, her voice betrays her pain. Some of our youth refuse to stay behind the walls. They say they need to leave before they fall sick. If we were to let them outside, one of them could refuse to come back. You frown. No, it wasn't pain what you've heard. It's shame. Okay. Were you bothered by any bandits? Not in years, Warden. They did attack us on the road once before, but their little pack won't come here. At first her tone is gentle, but she blinks twice. It turns solemn. Or they would face our anger. Our walls fear only dragons. Our blades are made of steel. Okay, which way to the watchtower? The northern route, most likely. There's more tribes there. But the eastern road is dangerous. No matter from which way you're going to enter it. But if you care about time, he hesitates. You could check on the gate, though opening it on your own may not be easy. It used to be that our guards were keeping it open for the travelers, but the last one that we sent away, Quintus, is either dead or seeking refuge in another village. Still, find the gate, you'll find the shortcut. It's a dangerous path, but your palfrey may be just fast enough to get you to the other end. You ask her what she can tell you about this gatekeeper, and she gives you a warm look. He may not be the sharpest of wits, but he's loyal to his duty and returns kindness with kindness, like we all should. I'm a cozy deer who enjoys a cozy stream. Cute! Too cute. Big stretch, which made me big yawn. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna find a good place to pause. Ask what she can tell you about the gatekeeper. Okay. He's kind. Returns kindness with kindness like we all should. Don't you want me to ask the other villages for help? There's no love between us and them. We don't share drinks, stories, or dances. If it weren't for marriages, our children would never see each other, And if it wasn't for trade, we could just as well live on a mountain peak. They need our stone. We need fishes and salt from Gale Rocks, game meat from creeks, and grain from Howler's Dell. But all of them are harpies, led by greed and lust, the same ills that wounded our grandparents. She hesitates and looks to her left. Still, the wicked souls of the White Marshes are even more burrowed in shadows. Sounds like you hold a grudge against them. She takes a deep breath. Yet I won't spread any rumors. As much as it saddens me, they need us to survive and we need them. And you're even stranger to us than they are. You have anything for sale? No. Okay. I think I'm gonna save here. Let's do an actual save. Okay. I think this is where we are going to call it for today. So I can rest a little bit before I am doing a D&D one-shot later today that's gonna be like 5 hours, so I need to rest my voice a little bit before that happens. Thank you for watching. If you stopped by while I was live, thank you for stopping by and spending time with me. If you're watching this VOD as a video in the future, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate your support regardless of whether it's live or not. Our next stream will be Monday for Minecraft Mondays with Bambi, Quill, Hobo, Ray, and whoever else wants to join. That's part of the SMP. Next week we will be, I think, back to our regular collabs on Wednesday and Thursday. Since raid suggestions, sure. Yeah, what's up? Who would you like me to raid? So next week, we will be in Little Witch in the Woods on Saturday, alternating. Musical Fox 30. Okay, let me... Sick. Let's do it. So next week should be a 5-day stream week. We are going to raid out, and I will take us to the ending screen. She's doing a subathon and is a good friend. Well, any friend of yours can be a friend of our channel. We're gonna start that raid, and I'll take us to the ending screen now. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye.